At the beginning of 2020, we moved into our new head office here at First Point. It's a really nice working environment. It's been great being able to work alongside other departments that are also based here, allowing us to work collaboratively together, share knowledge and get to know our colleagues. One of the benefits of working for a fast-growing company like Group 1 is the opportunity for professional and personal growth. I have seen significant investment in my colleagues, particularly in my department, into professional qualifications and training. It's an exciting time to be joining Group 1 as the company grows so quickly. I am hoping to get involved in new projects and new business acquisitions over the coming years and develop myself professionally.
I started my career when I was 18. I had the opportunity to go to university or build my career further. From that point, I did like the idea of starting to earn money rather than going through studying again and sitting behind a desk through lectures. From that point, I started as a sales exec with Stansted Audi, who helped develop my skills and requirements through the Audi brand and their networking. At 5 years, I was given the opportunity to become a business manager. Again, Group 1 gave me the opportunity through all the tools and learning that I had over that career path.
My passion for vehicles started very early on, probably shortly after I passed my driving test, mainly with Volkswagen, which then progressed to Volkswagen ownership, which then led to going to various meets, modifications, all sorts of things like that, which I do still do. From there, I decided that I wanted to turn my then career to the motor trade, and I thought of becoming a technician. Unfortunately, at the particular age I decided this, it was unviable for me to go into that particular career. However, I was very fortunate to be given an opportunity as a service advisor with Volkswagen.
My story starts 45 years ago, back in 1975, 16. Just gone through my exams, done okay I think, and wasn't too sure what to do. We didn't go to university in them days. It was you either went on and done your A-levels or you looked for work. I got an opportunity to go to a assessment day for the RTITB, which is the Road Transport Industry Training Board, as an apprentice. So I went along and managed to get the job. So I took the job. It was with a very small Fiat centre in rural Essex, and went through my apprenticeship, day release. First year was technical and then moved into parts. 3 years later, 19, I graduated as a skilled partsman and a semi-skilled technician.
So me and my friends literally had left Southgate College for our day release, and we were driving through into Whetstone High Road, and as we pulled up we saw these flashing lights and music playing outside what is Whetstone Audi, and we thought, you know what, let's pull up and have a look at what's going on. All four of us jumped out of the car, walked up to the front door, wearing our jeans, scraggy jeans and t-shirts, and it was a black tie-do, and everyone looked very, very posh and very, very well-to-do, and we just waltzed in. We stood out like a sore thumb, and it was a real eye-opener. We looked around the showroom. There was 4 to 5 cars inside the showroom and some very, very posh-looking people, and looking around, it was an amazing place. Little did I know that 20 years later that I'd actually be the head of business of that centre.
So I suppose my journey into the motor trade, and specifically Group 1, started in walking down a stretch of road in Sussex which houses about 10 or 15 dealerships, and it's a sort of an aspiration of mine starting in one of those centres and building a career. And I walked down all of the different dealerships that were there, and I put my CV in at the reception desk, and it was actually at BMW that I put my CV in, and it was the mini brand manager who actually called me and said, I'd like to get you in for an interview. The receptionist at BMW had said she was sort of quite happy with sort of the way I'd come across, how I presented myself, the sort of the eagerness, and at that point the mini brand manager called me and said, I'd like to get you in for a chat. I'd like to see what you're all about.
That later progressed, and I established my career moving around some dealerships within the southeast, trying my hand at Honda for a short period of time, and then progressing to Crawley Audi, which is where things really took off. I took on additional responsibilities there and graduated to senior service level, and it was at that point that I had some dealings with our head of business there, and it was a very fly-away comment that I made to him actually at his leaving do, saying that, if there's future possibilities somewhere, please feel free, give me a call, and that's when the relationship was forged. Probably a few months later, got a call from him presenting that next opportunity, which actually happened to be within Group 1, and that was my first management opportunity, which was at BMW in Hailsham.
I didn't really have a route that I was going to follow at that point, and I decided I'll join him, and I went to Southgate and started this BTEC equivalent course, and ended up on day release at Henley's Southgate, what was known as Henley's Vauxhall, and done that for the best part of 6 months in the workshop, and I absolutely hated getting my hands dirty. So I'd done it for the minimal amount of period I had to do it. And from there, I went and joined Dagenham Motors, embarking a tiny little showroom with like 3 cars in it, and that's where I started my sales career.
So I went down for my interview. I was met by the brand manager. I was met by the head of business, and we had 2.5 hour long, what was a conversation, less much so an interview, but more of a conversation about what I wanted to achieve, what my aspirations were, and at that point I thought this isn't just a job, it's really a career. It's something I want to do for a living rather than just earning a wage. So I started in mini sales. I was a trainee sales executive. I was sort of 2 or 3 months in getting to grips with everything, and I think at that point I knew I was in the right industry, just not necessarily in the right role. And the brand manager who'd hired me sort of noticed this, and we had sort of a conversation after that, and sort of, I think the question was whether or not I wanted to continue in sales and perhaps go against my natural grain, or did I want to move into something a little bit different, but still in the industry and still in Group 1, still in BMW. And the idea was to make the jump to after sales after the service manager, Kelly Russell, approached me.
So having successfully passed the interview process for the BMW service manager position with the head of business that I knew previously, I started my career. I was also supported by Group 1 with an ILM qualification to become a BMW service manager. That happened over a period of around 2 years, and that gave me various strengths, also dealing with people, processes, and some support from the brand as well. The regional managers, various were very good at supporting and coming into the dealerships to give us the information that we needed.
So since taking over as franchise director, the division has grown. We acquired 4 more Audi centres, and I have responsibility for those. And as a division, year on year, we've seen increased revenue, we've seen the business grow, 750 staff approximately, probably more now. We're turning over £750 million in revenue, and that carries on increasing.
One of my highlights of being a business manager at Whetstone Audi was I was one of the first people to write £1 million worth of business on my own, which might not sound like a lot of money now, but back in the days when you only had 4 products or 5 products to sell, it was a huge achievement, one that I'm very proud of. Another one of my big career highlights is, as a GSM, I introduced the midnight handover into Audi, which was not common practice back then. It was something I bought from Ford. And on my last midnight handover, we delivered just over 100 cars in the space of 3 hours. It was an amazing event. We had Audi there, we had some Le Mans cars on site, we had a barbecue set up, and it was just an amazing buzz and feel around it. We did upset the neighbours at midnight because all their customers decided to blow all their horns at once, but other than that, it was absolutely amazing.
In summary, I'm glad I did what I did, starting with the industry in such a young age and developing myself further. Most of my colleagues and friends went to go to university first, but with Group 1 Automotive and their university graduate scheme, I was able to go back and do the studying as well as build my career.
I want to become a well-rounded Group 1 employee and certainly a head of business at some stage in my career. And it's all about the journey to get to that. And actually to get some sales experience at a management level is a key thing. And again, Group have really supported me in achieving that and have been supportive along the way in terms of the training that's been needed, encompassing also in the Loughborough University course, which has given me some of the skills and people management that I've needed.
Thank you to everyone that took part in the making of this film and those that told their stories to us. I hope you found them as interesting and as inspiring as I did. We're very fortunate at Group 1 to have people with different backgrounds and different experiences, but all with a passion for the business and enjoy working with each other. We're proud of the opportunity that Group 1 can give people to grow their own careers as the business grows. And I hope that you enjoy working with your Group 1 colleagues as much as the people on the film obviously do. Who knows? In a couple of years' time, we might come and ask you to tell your Group 1 story. Thank you.